Top of the morning to you. Happy Motivate Monday. This is your daily morning motivational message because motivation is a lot like doing our personal hygiene. You want to do it every day because if you don't, then things start to accumulate and maybe you got a little bit of BO, maybe your breath is kicking a little bit, maybe you feel a little extra weight because you have some dirt that you didn't scrub off your body. It just doesn't feel good. Now, if that's happening to us physically, imagine what's happening internally if we're not taking the time every day to wash this. There's so much toxin and there's so many pollutants. There's so much noise. There are so many distractions. There are constant interruptions in your life that if you do not take the time to be intentional about guarding and protecting your space, your energetic space, your thought space, your mindset. If you don't understand the power that lies up here and you don't respect it, then you're going to get overrun and overwhelmed with the toxicity, the negativity, the noise, the distractions. And very often, as we are wanting to get better, we think it's about adding something. Let's take a course, which is good, okay? Let's watch an inspiring video, which is good. It's good. Let's read a book, important. These are things that you should be doing anyway. But more often than not, we're adding things without doing any subtraction. And if you're wanting to improve the quality of your life and your thoughts, your inner conversation, your self explanatory style, how do you talk to you when nobody else is around? Most people's internal conversations are mostly negative because that is their programming. Born to win, programmed to fail. So when you're doing these additional things, adding a book and watching a program and listening to an inspiring sermon or a speech, because you're not doing any subtraction, what you're really doing is you're taking positive and you're putting it on top of negative. So foundationally, you're still involved. You're still connected to a lot of negativity and you're putting positivity on top of it. And then you're wondering why you're not making progress. You're wondering why do you keep taking 3 steps forward and then 5 steps back? Because some of this process is about what you have to unlearn. Some of this process is about what you have to remove and cut away. You have to prune a tree in order to maximize its growth. There are spots and areas that you have to cut away that are dead so that new growth can take place. So some of you might have some poor habit patterns in your behavior. So you talk about wanting to take better care of yourself, but you keep finding yourself in the fast food line. You talk about wanting to live a longer life, but you keep ending up at happy hour and you keep eating a lot of fried foods. You keep overindulging in emotional eating and sweets. You keep not going to the gym. So you're having these thoughts of wanting to live a healthier, longer life, but you're putting them on top of the fast food line, emotional eating, happy hour, poor habits, habit patterns. And so we must first recognize what are those things that we need to remove so that we can truly experience growth that can lead to transformation. And doing a personal inventory, an honest, rigorously honest assessment of your current situation, your life, where you are. Understanding that wherever you are in your life, you made an appointment to be there. Understanding that you are the sum total of your choices and your thoughts and your habits. And when you can look honestly in the accountability mirror and take account of the things that you're doing. What are those things that are working and that are not working? Where have you consistently fallen short? Where have you excelled? What are those things that I need to unlearn? There are some things that I need to remove. There might be some people in your life that are subtracting instead of adding or multiplying. You may be surrounded by some individuals that are committed to mediocrity. And it doesn't mean that you don't love them, it doesn't mean that you don't want more for them. It just means that you have to be protective of your intellectual, spiritual mindset environment. You have to be mindful of that. And you have to make a conscious decision to say, you know what? I love this person, but I'm going to have to love them from a distance. And until they decide that they too want to join me on this journey of self improvement and growth, I got to love them from a distance. There are some people who smoke weed, and someone in their circle decides, I don't want to smoke weed anymore. Well, you're not going to have as much success if you keep hanging around people who smoke weed. Doesn't mean that you don't love them. Doesn't mean that you don't want better for them. It just means, hey, I can't rock with y'all like that anymore because you still smoking. I don't want to smoke anymore. I'm changing. So I'm actually attracting different people into my life that also don't smoke weed. They're focusing on a next level of better health and well-being. So understanding that people rub off on you, and you have to be mindful of that. You may have to remove some people from your inner life, from your consistent. Who are those 4 or 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with? Because that's going to tell you where you're most likely going, how you're going to end up in the next 3 to 5 years. So now you're making different decisions there. So, okay, I've got to make some changes. I'm going to have to spend more time with myself, working on myself, than I am hanging out with people who smoke weed. Like, I'm just not going to hang out with those people anymore. So instead of smoking weed, I'm going to focus on doing better, putting better things in my body, spending more time in the gym. Great. So it's not even that you have to find people to replace people. It's just, you know what? I'm going to start enjoying and investing more and spending time with myself, falling in love with myself in a healthy, positive way, not an ego-driven, narcissistic way, but a healthy, positive way. And I'm going to cultivate a healthy relationship so I make better choices. I also recognize that I can't go to the fast food line. I also recognize that I got to stop drinking soda. I also recognize that I can't go to happy hour. I can go to happy hour and maybe once a week go there and get some whatever, fried mushrooms or cheese sticks. Okay. I'm gonna give myself one cheat day, but I'm not gonna drink. I'm gonna spend time at happy hour with people that I enjoy spending time with, but I'm not gonna drink because I'm focusing on better health and well-being. So you're removing certain aspects of self-destructive behavior. And it doesn't mean that you have to compromise spending time with people that you love and care about. And your friends at happy hour, they might drink and have a good time. And you say, I'm not drinking, but I just want to hang out with you, man. Tell me about your week. Tell me about what do you got planned for the weekend? But you're starting to level up. And that's the difference. So you identify those things. I have a habit pattern of another example of I don't read every day. So now, if I'm going to put personal growth, what I have to do is incorporate the habit of reading. Now, that's addition on top of addition, which creates multiplication. So if I'm committed to my personal growth, and then I'm going to add reading 10 pages every day of something positive and uplifting, that addition plus addition starts to lead to multiplication. Because if I'm reading 10 pages a day, that's over 300 pages a month. 300 pages a month is over, what is that? 3,000 pages, almost 3,000 pages a year. That's several books that I'm reading every year. That's going to exponentially multiply my growth because I've now started to be more intentional and strategic about changing my life. So remember, most people, they don't address themselves. They don't take the personal inventory. And because of that, they spray paint motivation, feel good goals and dreams. It feels good to say, I want to lose weight. It feels good to say, I want to make more money. It feels good to say, I want to get rid of all my debt. It feels good to say, I want to be in the best shape of my life. It feels good to say, I'm going to get the promotion. But they're spray painting these goals over the rust and plaque, the buildup of plaque of poor behavior, habit patterns, poor self-talk, not really protecting this gem, the mind, not cultivating a higher mind, a higher thought process. And because of that, this is why you all know people like this. This is why you hear people over and over, all over. They talk about goals. They say it's a brand new year. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then they stop talking about it and they don't ever do it. This is why you see people yo-yo. They lose 10 pounds. They gain 15. They lose 16 pounds, they gain 25. They go up and down, up and down, up and down, because they haven't addressed what they need to unlearn and what needs to take place in that foundation. Because we are so inundated with so much toxicity, negativity, pollutants, noise, distractions, that we have to be very intentional and focused and careful to protect this, energetic space, so that we can maintain a certain level of commitment, autonomy, and positivity and moving toward our specific outcomes, our growth, our goals, and achieving and living our dreams. So I want to encourage you, as we're kicking off this week on this Motivational Monday morning, to really take that personal assessment. And if you know you have some poor habit patterns, if you know that your phone controls you instead of you controlling it, if you know that you're spending way too much time in front of a screen, you're spending way too much time scrolling, you're spending way too much time getting sucked into the vortex of the social media noise, instead of putting your phone down and spending time with your thoughts and focusing on your goals and your dreams, if you know that you have been susceptible to the distractions and the interruptions of life and you've allowed that to get you off course, that is the time for you to take that personal inventory and say, why am I so easily swayed? Why am I so easily distracted? Why do I allow these things to get me off course, instead of really spending time rooting myself further in my goals and my dreams? It's all opportunity. It's all growth opportunity for you and I. So I invite you to take that time to get greater clarity on that clear, concise mental picture of what it is that you want to create, what it is that you're committed to, and then make sure that you're in alignment and that your actions, consistent daily actions, are in alignment with that outcome. And do not tarry, do not waver, do not look left or right. You keep moving forward, because you paint the picture, you make it plain so that those who see it can run toward it. All right, have an awesome and amazing day. If you got some value, please like and subscribe, and go ahead and share this message too, because it's a blessing to be a blessing. Have a great week. See you tomorrow.